What is our mission? LCHIP, Land and Community Heritage Investment Program, to work with New Hampshire's communities to conserve and preserve New Hampshire's most important natural, cultural, and historic resources. Let's travel now and see how LCHIP has protected these special places: the Merrimack Valley and Upper Valley. Barnstead.
This is the location of our Crooked Run project, a project to protect 500 acres of the TL Storer Boy Scout camp.
In 3 towns, Pittsfield, Stratford, and Barnstead, well over 600 acres in size. We're conserving about 500 acres of the property. Included in what we'll be conserving is the Crooked Run brook that I'm standing next to that comes out of 2 ponds that are totally encompassed by the Boy Scout property, Adams Pond and Wild Goose Pond.
This project protects a great deal of wildlife habitat. The pond itself supports loons and other aquatic birds. This property was donated by TL Storer for passive recreation for the Boy Scouts that use it and also for local residents.
It's a large parcel, so for those reasons we look at it regionally as being significant and worthy of conservation.
The LCHIP grant was important because it helped us complete project funding.
Having full funding of LCHIP, it's just really critical to our work in the state for conserving.
Boscawen's former public library, designed by Guy Lowell, the same noted architect who designed the New Hampshire Historical Society building, is celebrating 100 years of service and preparing for the next 100 years. Bow Bog Meeting House. The roof, ceiling, bell tower, and windows of the 1835 Bow Bog Meeting House have been repaired, so the bell donated by Mary Baker Eddy in 1903 now rings out securely over Bow Bog for public gatherings, religious services, and weddings. New Hampshire Historical Society, Concord. The Tuck Library, headquarters of the New Hampshire Historical Society, and one of our state's historical and architectural gems, will be preserved to ensure that the structure itself, as well as the irreplaceable historical collection stored within it, can be enjoyed by future generations as they are today. Stickney Hill, Concord. The 19-acre Pierce Conservation Easement on Stickney Hill completes protection of 80 contiguous acres of hayfields on important farm soils, all actively farmed by local dairy farmers, and all protected in perpetuity as a source of local food. Canterbury.
I'm Tony Burdick. I'm the Executive Director of Canterbury Shaker Village, and I want to welcome you to the Trustee's Office, our new restoration project. Come, I want to show you what's inside. Well, here we are at Canterbury Shaker Village, and what the Shakers wanted to do here was they wanted to become a self-contained community. They first settled here in 1792 and proceeded to become a very important, self-sustaining religious sect in America. And this is the Trustee's Office. This is one of the most important buildings within our site, and to house all of their business dealings that they were doing with the world. This had been formerly the Visitor Center. This building was no longer being used. So that's never good for a building. I wanted to look for funding to fully restore this building and bring back the importance of the Shakers, not just to this community, but to the nation. That's part of public history. LCHIP believed in us, and we felt that if we could get an organization with that kind of stature and credibility, then I would be able to go to other funders. So in 8 months, the community came together and we received
East Grafton Union Church. With a dry basement and strengthened floor beams, the East Grafton Union Church will once again welcome Graftonites to the best appointed building in town, as it did when it was built in 1785 and renovated in 1896. Roby Farm, Piermont. Conservation of the Roby Farm will protect a key link in New Hampshire's local foods economy, as well as protecting almost a mile of frontage on the Connecticut River, and offer a new campsite on the Connecticut River Paddlers Trail. Littleton Community Center. The Victorian lady on Main Street in Littleton has a new hat. Actually, the Littleton Community Center has a new roof, allowing it to continue its role holding and hosting public and private functions that help bring the community together. Manchester.
Hello, this is Peter Ramsey from the Historic Palace Theatre in downtown Manchester. The Palace is Manchester's performing arts facility. Last year, 150,000 New Hampshire folks visited the Palace for all sorts of different shows. Built in 1915 on Hanover Street. Well, the history of the Palace is simply incredible. Last summer, Seth Meyers, Carole King, and Rather was here with his CNN show, along with many others. The theater is a home for the arts, and as a result, it's not a museum, it's a living building. We have so many people here every night, and as a result, it means so much to so many people. So repointing a 100-year-old building is critical because the mortar, after a while, crumbles and falls apart. And you'll see here as an example, it's a living structure. For example, this has been broken. That has to be repointed and replastered. The LCHIP grant will make the difference and help us do that. The first LCHIP grant helped us renovate and restore the Athens building, which is the second floor of this 100-year-old building. It was in terrible shape. Frankly, without LCHIP's help, it wouldn't have got done because what we did is match those contributions from LCHIP with corporations. Corporations need the proof that the state cares. It's simply critical. I am so proud to be associated with the state of New Hampshire and the LCHIP program. There is no question in the world that without LCHIP, the Palace would not be here. It's programs like that that make the historic Palace a viable entity for the people of New Hampshire.
LCHIP impact on New Hampshire since 2000. $30 million of state money invested. Total investment, 325 grants awarded. 143 towns and cities benefited. Total acres permanently conserved. 264,000. 159 historic structures preserved. 18 or more projects have been completed in each of the 10 counties of the state. Investing in New Hampshire's heritage. This is LCHIP.